a big field, 3 hectare field over winter. So that's kind of increased our land holding by about 50%, 30%, probably a little bit less. But we've got 3 fields now with over 3 hectares. And then we've got the little grass field on the south side of the yard. Oh, tractor's struggling. Oh, there you go. Oh, 6 miles an hour uphill. Okay, so tis a little bit of a struggle here. But again, not seeing any traction issues. So we're all good here. And yeah, eventually I will probably get the Glenleathann Titan because it's my go-to oversized plough, and a 400 horsepower tractor to haul it around. This then can be our sort of small field plough, or we could use it to tidy up the field edges as we go. It's a bit bigger than I normally use for a clean-up plough. But hey, we're doing this farm a little bit differently to our previous farms. For an law folds and oak field, we started with a 390 plus horsepower tractor. And then we expanded sort of sideways and downwards from there. This farm we started with this tractor at slightly over 200 horsepower. It has bigger engine options, but as I said, it's getting to the age where I would probably replace it rather than upgrade the engine, because there's no benefit upgrading the engine. You still got the same number of hours on it, which is a little bit unfortunate, because most equipment, if you replace the engine, you're kind of resetting the hours. Now for aeroplanes, for example, you have a frame number of hours and you have an engine hours, and there's various rules on maintaining things as they get older. But if the engine's really, really old, you could replace the engine and then just keep an eye on the frame. But Farm Sim, I think, I don't know. I mean, we have put 32 hours on this tractor already. How's the percentage? We're still at 80%. Maintenance, so that's good. But as it gets older, the maintenance frequency increases, and we're paying about £3,000 every time it's maintained, and as that happens in shorter and shorter cycles, it's obviously getting more expensive to maintain, and it's the inconvenience factor of having to service it quite so frequently in order to save money on the maintenance. So anyway, we'll get all of these contracts done. But yeah, rather than paying, I think it's something like 60,000 to get a new engine on this. you 40,000 for 305. So 40,000 to increase the engine.
I don't know, people.
Or maybe just buy a new tractor with a new engine, because that 40,000 is going to become part of the maintenance costs. So we may end up with a 4,000, 5,000 repair bill every time, and the frequency of that is not going to be the greatest, I don't think. But again, the farm needs the money before we can consider doing that. Hang on a minute, Mike. Okay, I'm back. Quick discussion on yard work, and I think we have some plans. But if we get everything that's pending now, I can always chainsaw a couple of tree limbs in the coming weeks until it gets too cold to hold a chainsaw. We're trying. We actually was it last year. I chopped a lot of the low-hanging limbs off some of the fir trees that we have, whatever they are, spruce, pine, I don't know, evergreens. But the deer seem to be happy about that because it gives them more room or more options to depart from our yard into the next one. And previous years, the limbs have been so dense that going that way was not an option. But anyway, what's the time now? Coming up on 10 o'clock. So yeah, September is halfway now, over halfway. Fall starts next week, or autumn if you're European, English. I've also been trying to look up, there was a model railway exhibition in Canada which strongly featured British what's the word for it? Sort of British models. So it was not Canadian. It was aimed at people who were interested in British trains rather than North American, Canadian. And as such, there's a lot of importers who deal in British and European models. And we went probably 2019, 2018. Actually, it might have been before we had. So it could have been about 9 years, 7, 8, 9 years ago. 7 years ago. About 7 years ago, maybe. But most of the importers that I know of have closed business. Obviously, a lot of people who deal in model railways are my sort of age, over 50, looking to retire now, and it's just a hassle. So, as I said, most of the dealers I know have retired and closed business. So sourcing stuff sort of pseudo-locally has become quite difficult. So being able to go to the Model Railway Show in Canada may A, allow me to buy stuff which I can't order through mail order, or B, allow me to build some connections that I can make use of in future years. I can't find any record of it this year on it. I haven't looked for next year, but this year doesn't seem to be any around. So I'm not sure if that's even still organised. Oh, 50% done. Yay.
What you doing?
I'm ploughing a field, see,
Oh,
in my grey tractor
that's cool.
with my blue plough. It's kind of struggling because we're going uphill.
Oh. Who are you talking to?
The peoples.
Oh,
Peoples. You can say hi
okay.
or not.
Hi!
Oh, that's loud.
I know. I wanted it to be loud.
Now they're all going to have to get their hearing checked. Oh, me deaf. This is...
Can they comment on your videos?
Yes.
Is that one of the comments?
No, that's the comments.
Good morning.
Yes. Welcome to the jungle.
Welcome to the chat room. That's what it looks like from their side of you.
Yes.
Oh.
And they may have a little chat box at the bottom that they can type it onto the side.
Up there looks blurry.
That's because that's small. Theirs will be blown up to full screen. So if they're watching on a phone, that will be blurry, but if they're watching it on a bigger screen, it'll be readable. Possibly. Although really, I can see things quite clearly, because obviously I'm playing the game in hyper definition, but then we're sending this signal onto the internet, and then it's sending it back up to them. And so it may be a lower resolution and a little bit blurry. I think a small person wants you.
Just a second, Rocky's calling me.
Yeah. Oh, he needs to watch TV. He can't change the channel. Not that we really have channels these days. We do not have live TV anymore, so everything we watch is streaming. That would be a real pain if you had to do it the way I had to do it when I was a kid, where me and my sister were the remote control for my dad, and you had 3 buttons on the TV or 4 buttons on the TV to select the live channel. Kids these days just don't know they've been born. Come on, tractor, you can do it. Oh, the weight's under. I'm probably having to go back to the farm. We'll do maintenance on the tractor and the weight. Don't have to do the weight, but I think the tractor's getting to the point now where doing another field will make it just a little bit more expensive. And off we go again, 9 miles an hour downhill. Yay! And the tea's gone. Oh, now that was the thing last weekend. There was helicopters flying overhead frequently, and it turned out somebody was doing helicopter rides at the local airport. We're on the flight path to the alternate runway, so most of the time we don't get aeroplanes flying overhead landing. But we do get airplanes flying overhead in the pattern for the main runway. That's not actually as bad as it sounds, because obviously they're flying higher while they're in the circuit, but if they're landing on the alternate, then they will be flying a little bit lower and in their descent. So that's kind of how close we are to the airport. But yeah, there was a helicopter rides on a helicopter. So that was a thing. I've actually been on a helicopter over the Grand Canyon.
There's only a few people watching. There's only
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Well, while it's convenient for me to play on Saturday mornings, some people have to go shopping and do work around the house or in the yard. In England it's the afternoon, in Europe it's the afternoon, and so people are doing stuff we normally do in the afternoon. So we are appreciative of the people who come along, and really I'm just having fun playing a game and sharing my experience with people. Okay, have fun. You're not a cake.
No, Kate.
You're not Kate.
What's Kate doing?
I asked her can I use a bus card. She said yes.
Or what?
Her green bus cards, whatever they are. She said yes. Then she said no.
Why is she being so stupid? Just use my red and blue ones. I'll
What?
share with you. Use my red and blue ones. I'll share with you.
Well, we're almost.
You need
I think we're almost done here.
We're gonna go city.
Well, I'm gonna drive. You'll cook though. I'm gonna drive home. Mommy, get in the car.
Shame we don't have any fertilisation contracts to do, because they go a lot quicker.
But we would go with this. You need to sit more sleep.
I mean, that's one of the reasons why I like fertilisation contracts, because you can really nip around and do them really, really quickly. Yes, you have to buy the fertiliser, but still, it's a quick way to make income fairly fast. I think you get paid about the same amount as doing a plough,
What?
but oh, come on, keep going. Oh, there's a liming contract on 97. Was that the field we just did? No. See, liming contract's good, but unfortunately lime doesn't go very far. So, actually I don't have to go back to the yard. That's actually a good point there. We can go down to the store and get the tractor serviced. But yeah, 97 is going to be down that way, which is a bit of a trip from the store and a bit of a trip from our yard. And we already know that lime doesn't go very far, and so we would have to keep refilling our small lime spreader. Maybe when we get the huge one eventually, I'll do more liming contracts. Fertilization contracts I'm good with, because obviously it tends to go a little bit further, less so for contracts than for our fields. Obviously when we come to planting our corn, we are going to use an absolute ton of fertilizer on the field, because corn is quite nitrogen hungry, but grass isn't. So once we've got a grass field planted, throwing fertilizer out is, you know, very quick, very efficient.
Look at the treasure we found out there.
Oh, you found crayons.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Mom, I need to show you the treasure we found.
You found some treasure. He found a small plastic box absolutely filled with crayons. So he's gonna be happy with that. Where is 97 then? I'm kind of interested, but it's gonna be in... Actually, it's not there.
I also found a
67...
whole bunch of games in the basket.
97. Oh, it's right up there. Which actually isn't too bad from our farm, but the problem I'm usually finding when we do a lime field is we get 1 or 2 strips and then we've got to go and fill up again. Even on our fields. Oh, that reminds me. Our new field needs to be checked for lime before we plant anything in it. So we'll have to check on that. I'm guessing it's going to be horrible.